Okay, today we're going to look at cycles of life, egg to bird, with special split pages in this book. It's a different type of setup for the pages. The book is written by Carolyn Scrace. And here we see an owl and baby owls just coming out of the eggs. Egg to bird. Cycles of life. And from the table of contents we see we're going to see a little about mating, building a nest, laying eggs, how the eggs hatch, hunting, feeding, exploring. Oh my goodness, a cat attack, learning to fly, leaving the nest, the cycle of egg to bird words, and there is an index. And we can see the little baby owls are growing. Birds have 2 wings and are covered with feathers. Most birds, like the long-eared owl, can fly. A long-eared owl begins his life inside an egg. When it has grown big enough, the body owl breaks its way out of the eggshell. In this book, you can see the amazing cycle of life of a long-eared owl from egg to bird. Mating. The male owl chooses a place to build a nest. He then finds a female long-eared owl by flying and calling in a special way. When the female sees him, she calls back. The male and female owl then mate. A long-eared owl has large orange eyes and long ear tufts. These are not its ears. So this is not part of his ears. It's just on top of his head, in front of his ears. Long-eared owls usually nest in the old nest of other birds, such as crows, magpies, ravens, or herons. The owls line their nests with moss, leaves, feathers, and small pieces of bark. The nest is high up in the tree and is hidden among the branches. Laying eggs. The female owl lays from 3 to 5 eggs. The eggs are white and oval in shape. The female sits on her eggs to keep them safe and warm. Inside the eggs, the tiny owls grow. The eggs hatch. After 4 weeks, the first egg starts to hatch. The tiny owl cracks open the eggshell. When the baby owl comes out of the egg, it is called a nestling. Nestlings are covered in fluffy white feathers called down. So here you see a little egg back here, the nest. They have a little caterpillar on a leaf over here. Sometimes the male owl, the daddy, sits on the eggs while the female hunts for food. And the little baby owl is called a nestling. Hunting. At night, the male owl flies off and catches food for the nestlings. The male owl takes food back to the nest. The female owl gives little bits to each baby. Feeding. Long-eared owls eat mice, rats, and other rodents. They also eat small rabbits and sometimes other birds or snakes. Long-eared owls hunt at night and can find food even in total darkness. The older nestlings make a call that sounds like a squeaky gate. Exploring. 3 weeks after hatching, the young owls can leave the nest. They use their beaks and wings to climb and jump along the branches close to the nest. Other birds and animals like to eat long-eared owls. The adult owls keep watch over the young owls. This says cat attack. When a cat comes near the nest, the female owl makes herself look as big and scary as she can. She puffs out her feathers, spreads her wings out like a fan, and stares at the cat with her huge orange eyes. The adult owl makes a barking sound to frighten away the cat. Learning to fly. 5 weeks after hatching, the young owls begin to fly. At first, they only fly a short distance. They are always hungry and each night call for their parents to feed them. A young owl is very curious. To help it see in every direction, the young owl can turn his head almost completely around in a circle. Leaving the nest. 2 months after hatching, the young owls can hunt for their own food. It is time for them to fly away and leave the nest. Long-eared owls usually live alone and only come together to mate and raise a family. The cycle of egg to bird. In spring, a pair of long-eared owls build a nest. The female lays about 3 to 5 eggs. About 4 weeks later, the eggs begin to hatch. The baby owls are called nestlings and are covered in white down. Those are their feathers. During the next 2 weeks, the nestlings remain in the nest. They eat a lot and grow bigger and stronger. About 3 weeks after hatching, the young owls are able to leave the nest and explore their surroundings. 5 weeks after hatching, they begin learning how to fly. Their parents still feed them. When they are about 2 months old, the young owls leave the nest and hunt for their own food. That's the cycle of egg to bird. This book includes a glossary of some words that you might need to know to understand the book, and an index to find specific details. Title of the book, Cycle of Life, Egg to Bird.